Up in the cloud. So thank you everybody so much for joining me. I'm Allie Jackson with Centennial Escrow, my buddy Ricky Bright here with Cal Title and co-hosting. So Rick is going to monitor the chat. So if you have burning questions, go ahead and pop it in the chat. And when there's an appropriate pause, he can jump on in. Or, you know, it's a small group, we're casual. Feel free to unmute yourself and just jump on in and ask a question as well. I think by this point in time, everyone pretty much knows how to navigate their way around Zoom, but bottom left is the mute, unmute. So if you want to jump in and ask a question, just unmute yourself. Otherwise, for the sake of barking dogs, screaming babies, and dump trucks and everything else, please try to keep yourself on mute during this session. And
with that said, it is a very interactive class. So any questions? But we like questions. So or you have stories or related things that help. We love to interact. So that's good too.
And also just want to mention everyone here, I will have a Word document that I'll provide after the training along with the link to the recording so that you don't have to take crazy notes on everything that I'm covering. It's going to be outlined in a Word document. This is your marketing plan. So I'm covering the broad basis of marketing, and you pick and choose and decide what you want to put into your plan. But the template is very helpful. So let's see here. I am going to share my screen here. Has that gone through?
No.
No. Okay. Can you see it now?
No, we're still on just the Partridge Family or the Brady Bunch.
Oh. Well, that's not good. Hold on a second here. There we go.
There you go. I see your screen now.
There we go. Now are you seeing just a great big Centennial Escrow logo here?
Yep. Looks good.
Are you only seeing that, or are you also seeing the Brady Bunch?
No, just well, the Brady Bunch just on the side, small on the side. So I think you're good to go.
Okay. Awesome. Well, thank you. And thank you so much, everybody, for joining us here today. So I have popped up here a little bit of an outline of my background. Reason it is, one, I've spent most of my career in marketing, so I actually do have some background in writing marketing plans. I've done many for myself as well as for my clients with my ad agency experience as well as my corporate marketing gigs. But the main reason I have this up here is I want you to develop your own bio. Most folks in real estate have actually had a career before real estate of some sort, and you can identify with that career what pieces and nuggets of that really make you a special agent, really make you stand out for your buyers and sellers. And so you want to incorporate that into your overview about yourself. So it's what I call a value proposition or a your elevator speech. And I see some folks. There we go. Thank you, Rick. So anyhow, go ahead and write that and be prepared. If anyone is in the Chamber of Commerce or a BNI group, you've probably already done this. You need to have your bio done and you need to be able to rattle it off your tongue. And we're going to get into that again a little bit later, but that's the purpose of this. And what is going on here? Sorry, folks, I'm having a little problem advancing my slide here. There we go. All right, maybe those of you who saw my invite email read this. I absolutely love this statement from Benjamin Franklin: failing to plan is planning to fail. And so I acknowledge all of you who are on this presentation today because you are not failing to plan. You're actually together here so that you can put together your outline. This is something I learned in LifeSpring a long time ago, a course I took, which is if you decide not to decide, you've made a decision. So you're deciding to move forward or you're deciding to be stagnant, but no matter what, you're still making a choice. So don't think you're not. You're just choosing to have the universe choose for you. So it's very important to have that plan. Imagine, I come from home builders. a long line of home builders in my family. And imagine a home builder who builds a house without knowing the lot, without having an architectural plan, without vetting his crew, without the adequate materials or the tools. Well, why would you launch your business any differently? Because that's going to be a white hot mess and it's going to be uninhabitable. So why would you want that for your business? You don't. So this is the benefit of having your plan here. So starting out, we're going to start out really big with a vision statement, and then we're going to go all the way down into tactics. And there's, like I said, a lot of content to cover here today. But your vision is your beacon. It is where you want to be. And I recommend when you write your vision statement that you do it in the here and the now and not some obscure day in the future, like I want to be or I aspire to be, but I am. I am statements are extremely powerful. Your vision is what's going to get you up in the morning. It's going to be what draws associates and clients to you like a magnet. It needs to be aspirational. So throughout this session, I'm going to talk about a fictional business called Beacon Realty. And I'm going to use little examples of what Beacon's vision, mission, etc. would be. So Beacon Realty has the #1 team in North San Diego coastal region for custom executive home sales. That's an example of a mission statement. Of a vision statement, sorry. Your mission statement is how you're going to get there. So the vision is where you want to go, and your mission is your purpose. It's going to drive you there, why you get there. It's your roadmap, if you will. So an example here is Beacon Realty attracts top talent who specialize in either buyers or sellers, offers elite concierge service, has proprietary digital tools, and an approach to the listing or buying experience with a full team. The majority of Beacon's clients are repeat or referral C-suite executive clients because our brand is synonymous with custom coastal properties. So in this example, the broker identifies his target market right in his mission, professionals and executives. They identify their unique selling proposition. They have a team approach and specialize in buyer and seller teams. They have market area expertise, which is North San Diego, coastal and custom estates. So next, when we get into your marketing strategy, this is high-level rules which will govern upon your marketing efforts and what you're going to focus on. It's a general approach to marketing yourself, to building your brand, and for the brokerage to identify the allocation of resources. Pardon me. So I call this the game plan that's going to stop you from going down the rabbit hole. Anybody else out there like squirrel? Because I do that. I think probably everyone does who's good in sales. It's what we do, right? We're in tune to what's going on around us at all times, but it's very easy to be attracted to the shiny object. And sometimes when we're chasing that shiny object, we're forgetting about what the #1 thing is that we need to stick to throughout, which is sticking with our marketing strategy. So you want to make sure, because basically your strategy is your GPS. Remember back in the day when you get a triptych from AAA? That's kind of what this is, except it's your GPS. It's going to drive you to where you want to go. And traditionally, it would be the 4 Ps: price, product, promotion, and place. But you know, this is really your strategy, so you make it work the way you want to. Here's an example with Beacon. They offer multi-million residential custom homes, offer turnkey concierge service with a team approach, specialized in their niche, referral and return business, executives, and North San Diego coastal. So part of this builder's strategy or broker strategy is to build a power team of agents. So clearly recruiting and retention is going to need to be a part of his plan, part of his strategy. So perhaps building relationships with large companies in the area and recruiters to bring those C-level executives in. It's a brainstorming opportunity. So that's really where the marketing strategy comes in. Now, your business goals. I've done Marketing Mondays just on goals. I've also done one, I'm developing one right now on manifesting goals into reality. Goals are everything. you don't have a goal, you're just sort of meandering all over the place, right? Now, you can have SMART goals and you can have stupid goals. Stupid goals really don't ground you in anything, and they don't motivate you. They're unclear. They're not measurable. They're not necessarily something you can achieve. So they're more pipe dreams. All right. So where I advocate is really what a SMART goal is. And what SMART goals are: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. And I don't know anyone here if you've heard that acronym of SMART goals, pardon me, but it's really important. And you can have your 1 year, your 5 year, and your 20-year goals identified in this section of your marketing plan. But let me just give you some examples of specific. We will add 3 experienced buyer and seller agents by 2024 and 1 new agent to assist the teams. Measurable: the brokerage will have 500 million in sales by 2025. Achievable: in this case, the broker recognizes that they need to bring talent on in order to achieve those goals. So that needs to be part of the play that comes into there. Relevant: they need to make sure that they align with the vision and the mission. So this broker recognizes in Beacon Realty that in order to have the brand he wants, he needs to have top realtors in order to achieve that, not newbies. And time bound. Time bound is so critical. How many by when? If it's not time bound, then it's not holding your feet to the fire with anything. So it's critical for your long term and your short term, and to be specific about what it is. Hopefully that makes sense, but we can revisit that in a few minutes if anyone has questions on SMART goals. All right, market analysis. Anyone here ever hear of a SWOT analysis? And it's not SWAT like you swat a mosquito on your arm, but it stands for strength, weakness, opportunity, and threat. So great exercise in a team is to do this up on a whiteboard, and you just put a cross in the middle of it, or just by yourself, grab a white piece of paper, put a big X in the middle of it, and have your strength, weakness, opportunity, and threats in each of the quadrants. And let me just give you some examples here. So your strengths, everyone's probably pretty good at identifying what their strengths are, but I'm going to just throw some examples out. Maybe you're great at listing presentations. You're super personable. You have a strong sphere of influence. Your weaknesses, these are growth opportunities. This is also an opportunity for you to augment where you may be weak with a partner who's strong in those areas, who would be drawn to you because you're strong in areas where they're weak. So this is where a partnership or a team approach can be very, very valuable. And knowing who you want to partner up with, I mean, it's fun to partner with someone just like you, but it's not going to fill those gaps. So it's really terrific if you understand what your gaps are and recruit or partner accordingly. So weaknesses here could be you're a nervous presenter. You might be a little weak in contracts, or you're afraid of cold calling. Opportunities. So this is an area, top agent in your farm is retiring. That is a huge opportunity. Maybe you want to even partner up with them, give them a piece for the book of past clients, give them something and work them and take over. And then they know that their clients are being cared for and they can endorse you. One example. Maybe there's a company coming into your area that wants to make your farm their headquarters. So maybe you just joined a top leading brokerage where they have a plethora of resources available. Those are all opportunities that you want to identify. A threat. A threat is something out of nowhere over which you have no control that can come in like a wild, I don't know, like remember Lilo and Stitch? Like Stitch just coming in like and totally messes with your business. For example, who would have thought a global pandemic was going to come in and shut down open houses? Right? So a global pandemic is a perfect example of a threat that is real, that can come in, and you can't do anything about it. You just need to figure out how to adjust and be adaptable and deal with it, right? Another example, what if interest rates shoot up 4%? This is not an unrealistic threat, right? How are you going to plan for that? You need to think about that in threats. And if much of your business has been first-time home buyers, you might want to start to diversify a little bit and say, gee, maybe I should specialize a little bit in divorces, because we know when people get divorced, they have to sell their house, right? Or maybe you want to work more with trust attorneys because, again, someone passes, that house is going to go up for sale. So find other resources and alternatives and ways to diversify your business based on threats that could come over. So you need to be nimble to respond to those. So that's a SWOT analysis. Very, very good exercise. So remember in the beginning, I had my bio up there. Your value proposition, this is your elevator speech. This is what's going to make you stand out from among the masses of other real estate professionals out there. What do you do? What's unique to you? Take a look at your marketplace, geographic expertise, your focus, and your target market. This you want in like 30 seconds. It's like your commercial that just rolls off your tongue. Again, Carlsbad Chamber of Commerce, I think you have an 11-second commercial, they call it. When I was in B&I, we had a 25-second. So whatever it is, you can have a long form and a short form, but pardon me, know yourself well enough that you can articulate who you are and how you stand out. I'm Allie Jackson, sales executive with Centennial Escrow. We are a boutique independent escrow company in North San Diego County with expertise in residential resales. Our team can help you from mobile homes to multiplex units to multi-million-dollar estate sales. Si hablo español. Yes, we have a bilingual escrow officer. What sets us apart is our service. We communicate promptly and completely in your preferred style. And we offer complimentary notary sale, upfront HOA docs, and market reports, along with many marketing resources to help you succeed. Because at Centennial Escrow, we're your complete partner. Something like that, right? Obviously in real estate though. So market analysis, a really important component of your market analysis is knowing your competition. If you are continually leaving a listing presentation and see the same agent walking up behind you, that's your competition. And you want to probably do a SWOT analysis on that individual so you understand their strengths and weaknesses. So you can sell to your strengths when you're at that listing presentation. Maybe that person is super great with their stats and facts, so leave a good lead behind, but you've got the personality. So warm up and make that connection and make that personal connection with those potential clients. So it's very valuable to know your competition. Keep in mind, your competition isn't necessarily always a realtor either. It can be, FSBOs can be your competition. Pardon me. So you want to identify primary and secondary competitors when you're going through this exercise. Also in your target market, you want to identify your sweet spot. This is your client base. So who's your client and why have they worked with you? Why did they choose you? What made you stand out? What's your niche, your specialty? And in identifying your target market, there's two key things to look at. I don't know if you've heard of many of you have heard of demographics, right? Those are the age, location, gender, income, the very clear, tangible occupation, family status. Those are your demographics. Your psychographics are the warm fuzzies. So that's personality, attitudes, interests, hobbies, lifestyle, behavior. So that's where you sync on a more interpersonal level with your target market. So very valuable. In summary, vision is what gets you up in the morning here. Mission statement, strategy, have SMART goals, your market analysis, understanding the landscape, and then understanding your target market. So again, your mission statement is how you get there. Your goals are specific, X and Y, how many new clients, by when, how much money, by when, achievable. So it's realistic given your bandwidth. You need to believe that you can achieve these goals or they're not achievable. You need to be able to do it within your time-bound commitment of what you can put into your business. They need to be relevant in that they align with your vision and mission, but also relevant that they align with your brokerage. If as you write out your vision and your mission and your strategy and your goals, you want to make sure that they're aligning with that of your brokerage. If you don't know what they are for your brokerage, then sit down with your broker and find out, or your office manager. And if you're finding you're not in alignment, then maybe you need to change brokerages or take a serious look at what your goals and your vision is and why aren't they in alignment? Because they do need to stack under one another. Your brokerage is your brand. It's a big part of your brand. So you need to make sure that you're in alignment there and that everything that you're identifying is relevant to that within your brokerage. And again, time bound, critical. How much by when? And then again, knowing your sweet spot. Were there any questions in this review section? I know I'm covering a lot of ground quickly, but there's a lot here.
No, it's good. Nothing in the chat right now, but message is good.
Okay, wonderful. Thanks, Ricky. All right. So anyone who loves Wanda Allen as much as I do knows how much she talks about CRM. Wanda is a guest that I've had occasionally on Marketing Monday. I'll probably ask her back again soon because she is a follow-up guru. You really can't follow up if you aren't keeping track of your prospects and your clients. That's where CRM comes in. Customer relationship management. And it can be done. It used to be done in a Franklin Planner. That's what I used to do. I have Lion Desk now. Many brokerages provide a CRM, which is great. If you have one through your brokerage, make sure that you periodically download and keep a copy of all of your folks in there because that is your business. Personally, I'm a fan of having your own CRM that isn't necessarily owned by your brokerage or has anyone who can look in and see what you're doing. But that's because your number one asset in your business is your client base and your database and your prospect base. So you make sure you own that and you keep it and it's protected. Anyhow, your CRM is a very valuable tool. Everything else in here is really just tactics, but this is what's going to keep you on track. I kind of think of it as with a way. Say you meet someone on an open house and they're great and they have a dream of buying a home and they want you to sell them that home, but their credit is garbage. So you set them up with your lender. They're cleaning that up. Pardon me. So you're not going to call them every week. How's your credit today? Did you check Credit Karma today? No, but you want to call them in 6 months. So you set that up in your CRM and it alerts you in 6 months. Just check in and see how they're doing. All right. And then you can also rate your prospects in there. So you're not going to treat everyone who is a C as if they're an A. That's a complete waste of your time. They may be an A friend and you love them and you want to hang out and have them over for drinks at Christmas time or whatever, but it doesn't mean they get your A attention as a real estate agent. They get C attention. So you definitely want to prioritize where you're spending your time, your energy, and a CRM can help you do that. It can also help you with keep in touch campaigns, drip campaigns, etc. You want to put all your pertinent information about your clients in there, their birth date, their home anniversary date, the name of their children, and your conversation that you last had with them, so that when you call them again, you can go back and be like, hey, David, it's nice chatting with you again. How's Susie doing? So you want to have all that information in there, and no one's memory is that terrific. I know mine certainly isn't. So a CRM is extremely helpful in making sure that they feel valued and remembered. Another thing I have in here, this is good for your how many by when, is an accountability partner. I don't know about you, but I'm not a huge fan of going to the gym. And at the end of the day, if I'm tired and I'm winded just putting on my tennis shoes, I'm probably going to blow off going to the gym. But if I made a plan to meet a friend there, I'm going to go because I made a plan with somebody else. Isn't it funny how we give more credibility and accountability to another human being than we do to our own appointments with ourselves? But that's true. We do, don't we? So sometimes having that accountability partner is very valuable. It can be a spouse. I don't always recommend that. Sometimes the best thing for your marriage is that it's not your spouse. But if you and your spouse are in business together, then that might be a great accountability partner. It could be a good friend. It could be someone you hire as a personal coach. But it is helpful, very helpful for some people just to check in. Sometimes it can be someone you just at the end of the day shoot an email to, made my 5 calls today, made my 10 calls, walk the neighborhood, or whatever your goals were, just that you can shoot it out. And it might make you push you to do that extra call or that extra walk because you want to tell that person that you're accountable to that you hit your goals for the day, right? So very valuable. Marketing tactics here. So you want to budget and calendarize your tactics. You can allocate them in different ways. You can allocate it by prospects, current clients, potential clients, potential agents, if you're recruiting for a team or you're a broker. I recommend that you pick your top 5, and your top tactics need to accomplish 2 things. They need to be relevant to your target market, because you can pick tactics that your target market will pay no attention to, and then they're not useful for you, are they? Because your target market doesn't resonate with that channel or medium, right? Also, it needs to be something you enjoy doing. So if you're farming an area and it's a 55 plus community and they love personal conversations and connectivity, walking that farm might be terrific to walk around and hand out market updates. But if you hate door knocking, you're not going to do it, are you? No, you're going to blow it off. You're going to find out a million reasons to blow it off. So that's not a fit for you. Or, find a partner that likes to do that while you do some of the other activities in the background. I don't know. But if it's something you hate to do, I assure you, you're not going to do it. It's not going to bode well for your business. So the other thing you want to do is take a look after you identify your tactics and say, what's missing that's really important so that you can fill that void. Maybe it's not important, but let me tell you, if you want to make a certain number of listing appointments and you don't have calling in part of your plan, how are you going to get those appointments unless you hire an appointment setter? You got to call. You got to pick up that phone. You've got to put certain tactics in there that are going to get you to where you need to go with your goals. And that's the benefit of writing it all out and identifying what you need so that you can see what's missing. Okay, relationship marketing. Realtors have been ahead of most marketers for a long time with this one. It's called your sphere of influence. Mass marketers are just starting to figure this out, and they have a whole section called relationship marketing now, where they nurture their client base and their prospects. But it's kind of a new thing in good old traditional mass marketing. Y'all have been doing it for a long time. It's all about the relationship. Your sphere of influence is everything. And not just those that you know, but those that you know can refer you to somebody who might be in the market. So while Sally may not be at all in the market for a new home, Sally's coworker is actually actively looking for a home right now and needs to put her place on the market. But if you don't stay in touch with Sally, Sally's not going to think about referring you to her coworker, is she? So this is where it's very important to continue to stay in touch with your sphere of influence. And, people want to help you. Your friends, your family, at least hopefully most of your family, loves you and they want to help you succeed. So there's nothing wrong with asking them. Be specific in your ask, but nothing wrong with that. And also just stay in touch so that you're top of mind. So calls, pop-bys, and there's a lot of other things that you can put into this relationship marketing bucket where you're around like-minded people, charity, community, contribution, your church, have thank you events, client appreciation events, cards, calls, holiday time coming up, rent out a whole theater and invite all your past clients and their family to come see the elf, right? I mean, it's really a fun activity. Something like that, like brainstorm on what you can do for client appreciation events. We just did one. Our whole Hot Properties team, headshot and happy hour, just to acknowledge that those clients that we work with, that we appreciate them. Come get a free headshot. So come up with things that will be relevant to your target, to your client base, to thank them. Trade events, Chamber of Commerce, MLS associations, affiliates. Okay, I go to Caravan a lot, and I'll pop by some of the open houses after Caravan. Many a time I have walked into the open house to see an agent roll his or her eyes and say, "Oh, another affiliate." Well, let me tell you, I just had a client call me up and say, "Allie, I have a 1031 exchange client, million cash. We've got to get into escrow in 2 weeks, and I can't identify a property for this person. And this is what they're looking for, and this is the area, blah, blah, blah." Well, you bet I'm on the phone with listing agents who I know specialize in those exact markets that agent told me about, trying to help them unearth a listing so I can matchmake and put them together. Because you're darn tootin' right, I'm going to want that escrow. That's what we do. Us affiliates know so many folks. We're in a lot of groups. We hear about off-market deals. Right, Ricky? Well.
Yes, for
Yeah.
sure. All the time. It happens all the time at Hot Properties. And yeah, absolutely. No, it's a
So
great way.
your affiliates can be among your best friends in helping matchmake and put deals together. So don't overlook them by any means. Also great resources in helping you with your marketing plan like this. I'll have one-on-ones. Rick, I know you got some fantastic tools and resources on pulling neighbors where there's a listing where they have a propensity to want to sell. So, I mean, your affiliate partners have incredible resources and a great background to help you succeed. So definitely don't overlook them in your relationship marketing efforts. Non-realtor events such as educational things that you can put on or partner with, folks through church or temple or what have you, like-minded folks connect. Great to put on events, educational events, not only because it makes you a strong, valuable community member and neighbor, but things like, I don't know, college education for planning with a financial planner that who you can invite parents of school age children to, so they can start that plan. You're bringing value to them. Sponsor a neighborhood garage sale. Stop by in the morning with donuts and cider, right? School events, and be involved in your community. So all kinds of things like that. Your social media and your other platforms really should be in sync with what you're communicating with your brand. You don't want to have one tagline over here and a totally different one over there, because people consume multiple media at the same time, all the time. So you want to make sure that you have brand consistency, who identifies who you are and how you do business across the board with some consistency. And when you send out certain messages, you want the right hand to know what the left hand is doing. Also with your CRM and your drip campaigns. So what you're doing in email, you want to have relevant to what you're doing in social media with what you're doing in your direct mail campaigns, etc. So there's relationship marketing. Lead nurturing. That is where you take someone who was once cold and you warm them up, and then after a period of time, they're right in your sphere of influence and they're warm, and they feel they know you. They can feel they know you through, oh my gosh, I know one agent who does a ton of YouTube videos. Not fancy, not slick. She's just herself. She's got a great warm personality, and out of area buyers are watching her and they feel like they know her. Because she's been nurturing, right? And they connect, they send her something, she gets them into her CRM system, she's sending them campaigns all the time. Through that system, I send out market updates, I send out newsletters. Take that content, repurpose it. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. That's why I send it out there. It's not because I think that you're dying to know where bingo is. It's because you can take this information and you can send that out and use it in your sphere. Okay, so let's see, door knocking, open houses, these are all things that are going to keep nurturing that relationship. You meet someone at an open house, get them in your CRM, stay in touch with them, call them every once in a while, see how they're doing. Nurture, do outbound calling, do wellness checks to see how they're doing. Lead generation. Okay, I ran the lead generation program for Mass Mutual. I sent out millions and millions of cold emails through our various network every month. We bought leads through various resources. And there is one thing I can tell you about a purchase lead. Speed to lead is critical. Do not waste your money on a purchase lead if you are not going to drop everything and be all over that lead like white on rice the second that lead comes in. Most of these sources, even if you think you're buying an exclusive lead, you're not. They're being sold to several other, or that same person, even if the resource through which you bought that lead says it's exclusive, it may be, but that same person may have filled out 4 different forms on different sites. So you can bet, just assume that there's other agents all over them. You've got, I think it's like, I think it was a 20-second speed to lead was what Velocify did a study and a white paper on how quickly you need to get back to that lead. In fact, so much so that when I was dispersing these leads to our financial planners, I set up a warming call center to immediately call the lead and connect with them, make sure it was a legitimate human being who did want to hear from an agent, and warmed it up. So that person knew Mass Mutual right away, so that when the agent called out, they were expecting their call. That is how critical speed to lead is. So again, don't waste your money if you're not going to follow up with them. But there are definite benefits of purchasing leads. I mean, you know, it gives you a little bit of a wider net, but just be prepared that you need to be all over these people. So again, if we're talking about just general lead generation, you know, you want to build your brand, your public recognition, your PR campaign. You want to do paid and traditional, excuse me, and digital advertising. That can work. Again, things like YouTube, open houses, virtual open houses, video, running video on your social media, hosting events, first-time home buyer events, home improvement, how to add resale value to your home, these types of things, door knocking. And you're going to hear me talk about it a lot because it works. People actually do still answer their door now. Some don't, but don't just show up. Show up with something of value. You show up with a little gift or a informative material, and someone's going to want to know what that is and engage in a conversation with you versus, you know, if you're just wearing your white shirt and your black jacket and you ding dong the doorbell and they're not going to open the door, right? So, you know, it's still a very valuable way to contact folks. Open houses, door hangers, market updates, etc. So those all fall under lead generation activities. Social media. Don't be a secret agent, okay? I manage quite a few realtor Facebook groups. I'm very particular and careful to make sure that we don't have scammers and bombers coming into our group. So I click through and I look at the profile of everyone who applies to our groups. If I'm spending up to 10 minutes trying to figure out if this person is an agent, and eventually I'll just say, okay, you're not in the group because I can't figure it out. I looked through everything. Can't tell that you're an agent, but you said you were when you applied for the group. Well, first of all, you're supposed to have in your profile, your DRE and your brokerage. That needs to be in your about, and it should be. It should be right in your description. Who are you? Follower of God, realtor. Have that right in there. Mother, realtor. Why is it a secret? How are you expecting your sphere to refer you to people if you don't remind them on a constant basis that you sell real estate for a living? So that really needs to be critical. And I know it sounds ridiculous for some of you. You're thinking, well, who wouldn't have that? They don't. I am not kidding. And I can go through the scroll through and like, I see nothing about an open house in here. I see nothing about your new listing. I see nothing about a market update. Not that you want that to be all you have in your social media. I've worked quite a bit with Marketing Melody Tao, and she really drives home the point that you want balance so people know who you are and share your family and your life in your social media. and intermix that with your real estate. It shouldn't all be business. That can get a little dry and boring, and people are going to just start, skimming past your post. Pardon me. But you still need to intermix that in there so people know that you're in the market, right? That you're in real estate. So have a clear professional photo of yourself. Something else we do for hot properties, I put a image of all the agents when they're pitching their listing. It's shocking how I can't find a decent, clear photo of some agents at all. That's actually what prompted me to do the first headshot and happy hour, because some of those shots were so old. I didn't recognize the agent when they showed up at La Papagayo. I'm like, who is this? Oh, you kind of look like the grandma of the agent that's in the pitch. Oh, wait a minute. No, that's just a 30-year-old photo. So you want an updated photo, a professional photo, and your contact information. So anyhow, don't be a secret agent. Okay. Implementation of your plan and accountability. And good, we're tracking really well on time. So this, I think, of the entire how do you write a marketing plan is the most important component of the whole thing. This is where you are going to reverse engineer your plan and make sure that it's doable, that it's achievable, that it's realistic. This is where your SMART goals really come into play, because you want to reverse engineer it and make sure that what you are doing on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis is all feeding into that annual plan of yours. And if it's not, you need to either adjust your goals or you need to adjust your activity plan. Critical. So I'm going to throw some random numbers out there. This is where the other thing is really important. Are you tracking your stats? Do you know what your average is when you make a call, how likely it is that you're going to get a listing appointment from that call? And do you know what your conversion is based on the list you're working? If you're working expireds, if you're working your sphere or what have you. So know your numbers, not the national average. If you're a newer agent and you don't know, you can work with the national average and make it just a little bit worse until you start to get your own stats. Like, just assume your numbers aren't going to be as good as the national average. And then you can start tracking it. Spreadsheet's great for this, or you can track it in your CRM, track it somewhere. Probably not on a sticky note because it might get lost. It's really important to know your numbers. So know how many times when you walk into a listing appointment, how often do you walk out with a sold listing agreement? What is your number? Know all of this, because that's going to help you in this exercise. All right, I'm going to have a sip of water here, and then I'm going to go reverse engineer. So say your goal is you want 24 sales, 12 by 12 listings. So let's take a look just on the seller side for your 12 listing transactions. How many listings do you need? So say 50% of your listings don't sell. As interest rates go up, this is not an unrealistic comment, right? So for those 12 deals to happen in 2024 on the sell side, that means you need 24 listings, right? So just your basic math here. So if you have your 24 listings a year, that's targeting 2 per month. How many listing appointments do you need in a month? Well, let's say 1/3 of your presentations, you win the listing. So you need 6 listing appointments per month. How many calls does it take to get an appointment? So you want to track your call rate, right? Say 1 in every 25 calls gets an appointment that sticks. That means they're actually home, they open the door and they let you in and they sit down and meet with you. So that's what I mean by an appointment. 50% people no show on appointments, so maybe that means you need 50. I don't know, but make sure it's an appointment that sticks. That means you need to make 150 listing calls a month. That sounds a little daunting, right? So break it down to doable chewables, 5 calls a day. Not that big of a deal. But if you're not willing to do that, then you need to go all the way back, reverse engineer, and adjust that goal, right? So this is also going to help you as you time block, so that you're making sure that you build enough time in for those key critical things that grow your business. And this is also very important here in this implementation and accountability. I know this sounds kind of stupid, but don't confuse activity with productivity. Oh, I was so busy today. I went to Caravan and I walked a neighborhood and I did this and this and this. No, did you make recruiting calls? Did you make listing appointment calls? Were you out showing property? What were you doing that actually impacts the bottom line of your business? And attending a bunch of trainings, all great. I mean, I'm a Buffini girl. I absolutely love trainings, but don't confuse training activity with productive activity. Make sure that you identify that and get the productive stuff done before you can do the other activities, right? So this is my favorite slide on here, implementation and accountability. This is also where you want to identify your budget. And in your budget, you can look at your fixed and your variable expenses, keeping in mind as your business ramps up and you're getting more deals, some of your costs are going to go up. So you need to be prepared for that. So for example, you may have X amount slated for photography, listing photography, but you double your number of listings. Obviously, you're going to have to increase that photography budget, right? So this is a living document. It's not a set it and forget it. So you want to adjust it regularly. You want to go back and audit it and say, all right, what other adjustments do I need to make to this plan? This is working. This is driving business in. This is not. I'm going to cut this. It's a waste of money. I'm going to reallocate it over to here. So obviously you're going to have some fixed costs like your MLS fees, your CRM, your flat fees with that, what you pay for your brokerage, your E&O, etc. And then other things are going to be more variable, such as gas. Not only is it going up, but the more, again, activity, you're working with more buyers, you're driving around more, you're going to use more. So keep that in mind so that you have that slush fund where you can adjust that for your budget. Set up a spreadsheet and track those expenses. And then again, like I said, identify what is really bringing in your ROI, your return on investment. If it's not bringing in a return, as much as you love it, as much as you love the person who sold you on the idea, you can't love your tactics so much that you're not willing to dump them because they're not bringing in the money. Show me the money, right? Show me the clients. All right, so that's where auditing comes in, and it's critical at the end of the year, but also, like I said, mid-year, stop, adjust, see what makes sense. But you always want to have an annual review as you're making your next plan. So as you're making your 2024 plan, what worked, what paid out, what didn't work in 2023, and just be brutal with it. And don't hurt your feelings about what didn't work. You tried it, right? The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. So if you've got tactics in there that I've always done it this way, but they're not bringing in business, then dump it and move on to the next thing and give something new a shot, right? So go ahead and use that learning. So how are we doing? Do we have any questions popping up in the chat there, Ricky?
No questions so far.
Everyone's mesmerized, hey?
Yes.
Well, then give me a moment for my little advertisement here. This is my team. So many of you know, Jennifer Stipe and I go way back. We moved over together to Centennial, and it's delightful that I now have an incredible team. Not only this is my team of escrow officers who are all, I think the best in the county. I have Anna Vizcara here, who is bilingual, Karen Batcholder, who is legendary in North County escrow, and has been over 30 years in the business, as well as Jennifer Stipe, who's a certified senior escrow officer, and actually has a skill set in mobile and manufactured homes, which happens to be a very growing segment in the market right now with interest rates doing what they're doing and prices still kind of holding steady. So we can cover the whole gamut for you. Would love to work with you and close escrow together. So don't hesitate to reach out to us. We're also always available, even if you're on the other side of a transaction and you're representing a buyer and you have some questions, don't hesitate to give our team a call. They're wonderful ladies and I love working with them. So we're here to help you grow your business. If you have more questions after this, and when I follow up and send out the outline, give me a call. Some of us, I'm meeting one-to-one afterwards. This is a great start. you can start brainstorming through it, and then we can get together and fill in the gaps. And like I said, in this document that I'm going to send you, if certain pieces of it don't resonate and you don't want to spend your time writing it, that's why it's in a Word doc. Throw it out, dump it. Just focus on the part that makes sense to you. Again, I got to say, working backwards, do your goals and figure your tactics, and then figure out your daily marketing activities. Those are the top things that you can do that hopefully resonate from this plan. That's all I have to say about that. So
yeah, Alec, can I say one thing?
Yeah.
So if anybody needs the farming tools that we were talking about, and not just that we've got I've got access to a better set of farming tools than normal. Just so if you need divorces or probate, trust, so you get those people that are just passed away and they need to sell their home. So and the divorces are huge. NODs, I've got access to all of them. And that's it's just a great niche, and it doesn't have to be all of your business, but maybe just a portion where you're trying something a little bit different because the market is so stiff. But might as well go where we know people are half, that's like it's like the hospital. I was, like people are always, they need healthcare, right? So that's just a great way to if you're a doctor or a nurse, it's just you're always in business. Same with divorces and probate, like that never ends. That just always is a funnel of business. So if you need that information, I'm happy to provide that for you.
Awesome. Thank you, Ricky. I do love working with you, and there's many areas where we identify that we can meet together with a client too. So if you want to talk about your marketing plan and how title can support and provide resources, we can duo team you, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So and we're always happy to come into your brokerage as well, and do a lunch and learn in this presentation or one of the several other ones that we work on together. So we're happy to do that. Rick is one of our Hot Property partners, and Hot Properties is this Thursday. So if you haven't been, come on by La Papagayo, 3:30 this Thursday. 3:30 to 4 is networking, and then 4 to 5 we run our pitch session. It's been going to about 5:15. It's been pretty darn hot lately, so hopefully you can join us, and it's super fun networking.
You're not going to sing the melody, are you?
I'm not.
Okay.
Not with my COVID voice. Thank you. I apologize, folks, when my voice kind of cracked a little bit there, but it's nice to have it back, I've got to say.
You're great. That was awesome.
Well, thank you so much. Anyone else have questions? You can unmute, ask, pop it in the chat.
No, just great job, Ali, and Rick. Thanks for your support as well. You covered all the bases, and I felt a couple of ouches along the way because I've been neglecting certain areas, and got to get that mindset in action and put it on paper. Thank you.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Thanks for being transparent. I think I felt the same way too. Definitely. So yeah, got lots of good tips to pick up. Good nuggets.
Yep, there's nothing like putting this together to remind me of what I am doing and what I'm not doing as well. And that CRM conversation, I had a nice little look in the mirror on that one. So we all need to keep up with it. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. We'll have future Marketing Mondays coming up, and hope to see y'all at La Papagayo this Thursday.
Awesome. Bye, everybody.